Good morning, YouTube. HPJ here, and I'm giving you guys a classic retro deck. I built this deck primarily when I started playing this game again in 2009, and it is BWHP, Blackwings and Harpies. Um, this isn't your traditional Blackwing and Harpie deck because of the fact that I couldn't remember exactly a lot of the cards that I put in it. Um, However, I did at least remember a portions of that game, and a large portion of what stuff I was playing. Um, there is one big hiccup, and that's a specific monster. So, at this time of me coming back into the game, one particular monster came out that really defined me playing this game and how this deck came to be, and that was actually Dark Samorg. Previously, before he had came out, I was still playing Harpies, and people were telling me there's another Samorg monster coming out. It's this really great monster. Your deck can really utilize it. And don't get me wrong, Samorg was a great monster, but the way Harpies play, and the way Harpies are like how to technically how the Harpie lady deck archetype works is you need your monsters in your graveyard, and you need your monster to be as accessible from the graveyard as possible. With Dark Samorg, it kind of cuts that off because you're going to banish them to summon Dark Samorg. So, in most situations, I really did try to cut myself away from playing Dark Samorg, even after the little hiccup. I think this is honestly one of my favorite decks in terms of just what it was, but strategically, it was just a big old hot mess. And I think I went back to it one time, and then I never went back to it. I think the last variation of the deck I went back to, I just threw Dark Samorg into a Gallus deck and just called it a day. So I wanted just to take a look back at it. And then I'll just go over everything else for the most part. So it ran 3 Harpie Queen, 1 Cyber Harpie, 2 Harpie Lady 1. It ran 2 Shura the Blue Flame, 2 Sirocco the Dawn, 1 Black Wings Frost the Elite, 3 Kulut the Moon Shadow, 1 Gale the Whirlwind, 2 Blizzard of the Far North, 1 Fane the Steel Chain, and 1 Mistral the Silver Shield, and 2 Vayu the Emblem of Honor. For the spells, we're rocking 2 Harpies Hunting Ground, 2 Black Whirlwind, 2 Elegant Aegis, 1 Burial from a Different Dimension, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Mind Control, 1 Brain Control. And then for the traps, we're running 2 Hysteric Party, 2 Delta Crow Anti-Reverse, 2 Icarus Attacks, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 1 Mirror Force. So this deck isn't as heavy as it is in the main. For its extra, is rocking 1 Ally Justice Catastor, 1 Gaia Knight the Force of Earth, 1 Psychic Life Transfer, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, 2 hold on, let me show you guys the Ancient Fairy Dragon. There she is. See, 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend, 1 Ally Justice Decisive Armor, 1 Black Winged Dragon, 2 Black Winged Armwing, 2 Black Winged Armor Master, and 1 Black Winged Silverwind the Ascendant. And as you can tell from the side deck, it's 2 Dark Samorg, 1 Shura, 1 Blipper, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Giant Trunade. My finger, okay. 1 Black Whirlwind, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, 2 Starlight Road, 2 Call of a Haunted. Is there anything I forget? Oh, and a Compulsory Evacuation Device. Oh, and I forgot to mention it's running a second Stardust Dragon. So, like I said, this deck, I was pretty new to the game. I didn't really sit there and strategize like I did. If I could go back and really utilize how I played this game, I think honestly I would have just played Blackwings and kept Harpies to the side and just built up on other Blackwing support. And probably just, played Blackwings for that time. Because Blackwings was still a really good deck even till the second part of the 5D's era. Um, when the synchro summoning really started popping off. That's pretty much my only regret, that I really just didn't focus on Blackwings like I wanted to, and I think I did. But I think at that point I switched decks and I was going towards agents. The Storm of Ragnarok, I still played Harpies. I was playing Psychics, and then I switched to agents. And I think I didn't switch to Gallus till towards after Torgai got reprinted. Or I think a little before Torgai got reprinted, after Torgai got reprinted. When she was in the first battle pack. And then I switched towards building Gallus, then I built Gravekeeper, and then I went into the whole elemental thing and I started playing with Dolce. So, with this variation of this deck, this was really something I cherish. If I could do it again, there would be a lot of different monsters in it, for sure. Because, like I said, there was only 6 Harpies that were accessible to be Harpie Lady. The only other monsters that you could play outside of Egotist was Sisters, and that's kind of touching it. I know Dragon and Baby were still there, and we could use monsters from the Mist Valleys to do the synchro summoning. But don't get me wrong, like the Blackwing engine, the Blackwing monsters are awesome. I didn't realize how cheap they really were when I was building it. Like I could have easily just saved up and built up and played then. But it was a lot. And, I look back at it and I learned from it, which I think any player should do if they're, playing this game, especially how long I've played. You take the decks that you played before and you just look back at them. And, you just say, hey, if I could change that, I would, and change all those little different things. Black Rings have grown, Harpies have grown, to the point where I don't think we ever needed Sword ever again because of how strong of a deck each of them have become on their own. Don't get me wrong, Dark Sword is an amazing monster, but I think just the qualifications of how this deck worked. It was a good idea on paper, it was a good idea through execution, but it still lacked the stability to support both sides. Even with, massive draw powers like Upside Goblin, Pot of Avarice, later on Pot of Duality, it really just, the decks themselves have, because I always say this with Harpies, you have to be aware of what you're putting in it and how the execution of it works. I possibly now, if someone rebuilds a Harpie Blackwing deck, I think it could probably work a lot faster, but it also means you're cutting out support on each side to support both main and extra. Not to mention, if you're trying, now you have to also incorporate link monsters, or if you're on Dueling Network, on Death Pro, you're probably, Yugioh Pro, you're probably just going to use the Synchro, because they still haven't updated, let's be honest, we don't know where they're going to update, but, if you wanted to weigh it out, try weighing it out between the Synchros and the Exceeds, which I think this deck could possibly do, because, of course, there are variations of Blackwings that play Synchro monsters, of course, Harpies just play Exceeds and Link monsters, because we don't even have the fodder to want to play a tuner. Unless it's like Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, Winter Cherry, and Ghost Reaper, stuff like that. Because they're primarily hand traps, and then if you do play them, of course, you can synchro them and make, Black Roses and Ancient Fairies and stuff like that. But, we haven't done the tuner basis already enough to do those types of things. It's just with Harpies and Blackwings at that time, it could have went a lot better. Just, my opinion is just looking at it that way. Because I tried everything, I think, at that point. I was using, was it Battlestorm, the level 4 winged beast that gained attack and defense for the number of winged beasts on the field, and then he could pop a spell or trap if we control 3 or more winged beasts. Then there was the Blackwings, and there was Miss Valley and Harpie. That actually worked well. Blackwing, Miss Valley, which that worked well too. The Gustos didn't work well with Harpies, unfortunately, because I think that was just more synergized to being a winged beast and psychic setup, and then the whole freeze thing, and then calm and all that. When that Hidden Arsenal came out, there was Harpies and Dragunities, but that was meh. And kind of on the same end with Black. Well, did Blackwings and Dragunities work okay? No, they didn't. Cause no, they somewhat did. Only because of Vayu. That deck worked out well. I think everything else for the most part just didn't work out too well because Dragunities on their own had to stand out with the equipped spell thing, and it was cute to send Vayu to the graveyard, but that's probably the only monster you really want to send to the graveyard unless you sent Sirocco in them to set up the graveyard to do the Vayu plays. But I think at that point it was just go full dragon if you're gonna play Dragunity. Because when I look on that, I was like, oh yeah, it was just better off of one of those. It's its own arch. That's when everything started really just becoming. If you couldn't really support your own archetype, then it really wasn't much. But then at that same moment, you had decks like Chaos Plants because Chaos Sorcerer was getting unbanned. You had you pretty much had the fall of Blackwings at that point because left and right, Blackwing cards were getting hit. I think it was to the point Kalut was at 1, Whirlwind was at 1, Icarus Attack was at 2, Blizzard was at 1. They had Band Oppression, and yeah, Oppression was banned, and a lot of people were just trying to fluctuate a Blackwing deck. Don't get me wrong, they were still around because they ended up getting more support, but it wasn't to support people wanted it like they wanted, like we have it now. It's just that Blackwings really just haven't been. Blackwings are one of those decks that it tries to keep up with the game, and then it kind of just falls flat when it tries to keep up with the game. It's unfortunate because it's still a really good deck, and I mean they like look at Gofu and them, they're still printing out these Blackwing monsters because it was still a favorite of the creators. But I digress. That's pretty much all for this deck profile and all I wanted to go over. And I hope you guys do enjoy it because I kind of did just having a look back at it. So till next time, you guys. This is HPJ signing out. Everyone, take care.